This is the curious case of Jer'zhan Newton. I mean, he goes by Johnny Newton now, but when I first met him and we shook hands in the draft process, and when I say shook hands, he don't know me, but like when I first watched his film for the first time, like I looked him up and his name was Jer'zhan, so I just called him Jer'zhan. And when I first saw him, he was in that mold of the fast upfield bursty D tackle guy, right? Like Aaron Donald walked so that, you know, guys like Cansey, guys like, guys like Oliver, those smaller, bursty upfield defensive end type characters that are really 3-tech guys. Those, I'm 300 pounds, 290 or so, 280. I'm smaller, but I'm strong. I got good hands. I can really penetrate B gap really well. Those dudes. Aaron Donald sat down so those dudes can stand. So of course, when I saw Jer'zhan Newton getting the hype of a early first rounder, top 5, top 8, top 10 type of guy, it made a little bit of sense. Then all of a sudden I looked at some of these polls and Jer'zhan ended up ranked in the 30s or something like that. I'm like, hey man, how does this work? How did he go from 8 to the 30s? And now I'm seeing him, right around the median, the average. I see him floating around the 15, 16, 17. So long story short, we have no clue where Jer'zhan Newton is going to fall. And I can imagine this got something to do with an interview, maybe an injury report. We'll cross that road whenever draft gets here. But Jer'zhan Newton, man, if we just looking at the film, the film just kind of checks out a little bit. Take a look at him right here in A gap. I mean, 9 times out of 10, he's going to be a B gap guy, but just burst, ball gets off the line of scrimmage, pass rush from B gap. And I'm saying B gap because that's where you get most of your one-on-one block sets. You don't get a whole bunch of help in B gap here. Take a look at him taking the left guard, boom, violent hands, boom, slinging you, messing up, getting grass stains all on your white jersey there, and then getting burst on the back end there. I'm watching this film on Jer'zhan Newton. I'm like, man, where are the warts? And eventually the warts come in the way of passing game. The warts come in the way of, okay, he's 308 pounds, but he looks small on film. Take a look at Jer'zhan Newton. He looks like he's 280. So maybe he just doesn't carry his 300 like a normal 300-pound dude would carry their weight. But look at this, boom, quickness to the inside coming off the line of scrimmage there. Pass rush ability, but you have to ask yourself, just like you look at another defensive tackle, T'Vondre Sweat type guy, and they're a one tech, and you go, all right, I know I can play you on first and second down. Did Jer'zhan Newton kind of fall in the rankings because teams look at him and say, all right, well, I can only play you on third down, really? I mean, that's nonsense. I don't think I think that
it's false.
I think that's false there because I think, he does have upside as a good run defender because he's an athlete, right? He's an athlete and he has powerful hands. And just in general, he rips stuff up in the middle. He tears it up in the middle. Just when you're a D lineman, the name of the game is penetration in the first place. And that's what he does. He gets penetration. Just a little bit of a bull rush right here, walking the left guard back. So just by him being powerful hands, violent hands, ball get off, quick bursty dude, man, I can see this dude coming into the league and being a third down type pass rusher for you right now. And can he help in the run game? Sure, he could be like a rotational run game guy, but man, look at the power right here. Boom. It's just that, I'm not going to show you, but when you watch film on your own, you can kind of see him get moved around a little bit, but that's for y'all to figure out. But Jer'zhan Newton, I'm a fan of him. I'm a fan. I would just love to know the behind the scenes stuff that's going on, because when you watch his film, the film clearly tells you he's a dude. He's a stud. He can play. But if he's falling in this draft process, that means the mock drafters know something. So Daniel Jeremiah, the Bruglers, the Bucky Brookses, they don't always draft based on what they know. They draft based on what they hear. So if you see Kuiper or something like that, mock drafting Jer'zhan Newton in the 20s or something, that means something behind the scenes has happened. But when draft gets here, all those questions will be answered. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. That's Jer'zhan Newton. I'll tap in with y'all on the next one. Peace.